Good morning, dear students in grade 11 in Mujtama Private School. How are you? I hope everything is okay with you. Today's lesson is Grammar 6a, defining and non-defining relative clauses. But first of all, let's start with our school vision. To prepare creative, well-educated students who are able to establish civilized ways of society, stick to the authentic morals and values in addition to using the modern technology. Our value for this month is innovation. Why importance of science is the value of this week. Well, let's start our lesson with this starter. Mention relative pronouns, pointing out to this or to their uses. Well, first objective, to elicit the use of defining and non-defining relative clauses through matching the uses with the words. Page 85. Of course, you know who, that, which, whose, and where. We have got relative clauses, and they are two types: defining relative clauses and non-defining relative clauses. And between this and this there is a difference. Defining relative clauses, as you can see, they give relevant information, while non-defining relative clauses present or give extra information. And we have got tools for defining and non-defining relative pronouns like who, which, when, where, and whose. Of course, who or that for people, which and that for things, where for places, when for times, while whose for possession. And the same with non-defining. So the only difference now between defining and non-defining relative pronouns, they give relevant information, while non-defining relative clauses give extra information. Read the two examples. The woman who lives next door is a doctor. The second sentence, the woman who I wanted to see is away. In the first sentence, note that the sentence in blue gives essential and necessary information. The woman who lives next door is a doctor. The woman who I wanted to see is away. You can remove who and the clauses or the clause. It can be the woman is away. That shows the difference between defining and non-defining. So what are the differences between defining and non-defining? Defining gives essential information, while non-defining gives extra information. You can use no commas in defining or with defining relative pronouns and relative clauses, while commas are used for non-defining. You can use that, while non-defining clause you can't use that. You can omit the relative pronoun which is not the subject, while in non-defining relative pronouns or non-defining relative clauses you can't omit the relative pronoun. For example, read the following sentences and answer the questions that follow. Question 1. That's hospital where Ali works. Which pronoun or adverb refers to people? Read the sentences from 1 to 6. So the pronoun or the adverb which used to refer to people is in number 3. The woman who helped me find my car keys lives next door. Sentence number 4 as well refers to people. That is the woman to whom I was referring. So you can use whom for people. So which pronoun refers to a place? Exactly. Which is in sentence number 1. That's hospital where Ali works. Where refers to a place. And which pronoun refers to time? Exactly in sentence number 2. Saturday is the only day when I go out with friends. So when refers to time. Which pronoun refers to a thing or an idea? Exactly in number 6. The house which is next to mine has a swimming pool. So which refers to a thing or an idea. And finally, which pronoun refers to possession? 5. The man whose son won the race is a doctor. Whose here refers to a possession. Great. Let's move to objective number 2 to practice using defining and non-defining relative clauses by filling in 9 spaces using grammar reference. Page 85, exercise C. Complete the sentences with who, whom, which, whose, when, or where. In which sentences can that replace the relative pronoun? In which of them can the relative pronoun be omitted? Pause the video and present your answers, then come back to me to compare your answers. Well, number 1. Our modern day lifestyle, which leaves us with little or no spare time, has a negative effect on our health. 2. There are those who or that believe that social networking sites have a positive impact on people's social lives. 3. There was a time when I enjoyed staying indoors, but now I like being outdoors. 4. I don't like people whose mood changes from one moment to the next. 5. The restaurant where I worked before getting married is owned by an old woman. 6. The people who or that I trust to give me good advice are usually family members. 7. The house in which we lived when I was young is now my sister's. 8. Carol, whose husband is Spanish, has just been offered a job in Australia. 9. The film Which or That I watched last night was depressing. Excellent, dear students. Now let's move to another objective, and before that, note that in sentences 2, 6, 9, who, which can be replaced by that. In sentences 6 and 9, the relative pronoun can be omitted. Watch that. 2, 6, 9, 2, 6, and 9. You can replace who with the word that. While in sentence 6 and 9, you can omit pronoun, relative pronoun. 6 and 9, you can say the people I trust to give me advice are usually family members. 9. The film I watched last night was depressing. Okay, Let's move to the third objective to consolidate vocabulary by completing a set of 8 sentences using the right phrases. Page 84. To join the sentences using who, which, whose, when, or where, add commas where necessary, and which sentences can replace the relative pronouns, and which of them can the relative pronouns be omitted. Pause the video and present your own answer, then come back to me to check your answers. 1. We stayed at the Grand Canyon Suites. It is a 5-star hotel. It will be we stayed at the Grand Canyon Suites, which is a 5-star hotel. 2. James lives on the first floor. His sister won a medal in the Olympic Games. James's sister won a medal in the Olympic Games, lives on the first floor. 3. My alarm clock goes off. I always get out of bed at that time. I always get out of bed time when my alarm clock goes off. 4. This house has been turned into a museum. A famous author was born there in the 20th century. It will be this house where a famous author was born in the 20th century has been turned into a museum. 5. My brother is talking to a man. The man is my brother's science teacher. My brother is talking to a man who is his science teacher, or you can say the man who my brother is talking to is his science teacher. 6. You are looking for a CD. Did you find it? Did you find the CD which you were looking for? Notice that in sentence 5 and 6, which can be replaced by that, you can remove the relative pronoun and put that instead of them. While in sentence 6, you can omit the relative pronoun. Okay. So let's close our lesson today with this game. Choose the correct relative pronoun. This is a bank. Tell me yes. Which was robbed yesterday. This is the girl. Excellent. Who called the police? This is the police station. Where she reported the theft. That man who lives next door works in the post office. The old man who is driving the red lorry is my granddad. This is the library where I usually go to study and borrow some books. The man whose car is next to the cafe is waiting for you. The shop where he bought his new shoes is next to the jeweler's. Now, for more exercises, you can go to workbook page number 72, exercise C. Thank you. It's time to go and say goodbye to you. Thank you for your listening and see you next lesson, inshallah.